be doing a Curly Deco Mesh wreath, and this time we're actually going to be putting some ruffles in it. I thought that would be fun. So we're going to be using light pink, hot pink, and purple. Love these colors, and it's great for spring and summer. So I'll get panned down and we'll get started. Alright, so we're going to be using one of the 14-inch frames from the Dollar Tree. And we're going to use the metallic Deco Mesh in the purple, in the hot pink, and in the light pink. We're also going to use some of the metallic mesh fabric from AC Moore. And this is actually a 19.5-inch roll, but we're going to cut it in half. So this is kind of like a mixture of Tulle and Deco Mesh, so it cuts really well. We're also going to use pipe cleaners. So what we're going to do, so all these rolls are 10 by 10. And since I'm going to be using them together, I will roll them out together. Just makes it a little bit easier to cut it if you can cut it all at one time. So I like to use my little table over here that is shorter. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to do is get a nice clean edge. It's a lot easier to measure and to get started if you have a nice clean edge. There we go. So you're going to cut this every 10 inches. So I love to use my mat here because it makes it a lot easier. It has measurements on it. And I use my rotary cutter because it just makes a nice clean cut. It's a lot faster. And you get a lot less frays than if you use scissors. Alright, so we're going to be making around 24 to 26 bundles. This is usually about what you can do. So I average about 4 per section. There are 6 sections in here. So I want to cut this, I want to cut out 24. So I want to cut out 24 of these. And then if I need to cut a few more, I can, but it's better if you just cut the minimum first. That way you can see if you're going to need all of it. So I will go and get all these cut out, and what we're going to do is we're going to put these together in a bundle. We're also going to cut this up, but I will show you that when I get back. And then we will start putting our bundles together. We're going to add in some ribbons, and I will show you that when I get back as well. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, so I have all these cut, and so now I am ready to cut some of this up here. And we're going to cut some ribbons. Alright, so what I'm going to do with this is I am going to cut it at 10 inches. Okay. It cuts very easily. So we'll do a couple. Okay. All right. So you see, unlike mesh, this edge, you see how clean that is? so there's nothing to fray on it. It is very thin, like tulle, but it's stiff, more like mesh. So it's kind of a combination of the two. And it has these little like paint splatters on it that I think just are adorable. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. So at about 10 inches. Okay. So then you're going to end up with a 10 by 10 square. So I'm going to cut one for my bundles. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up ribbon. So I'm only going to put ribbon in every other bundle. And the reason I do that is because you want to be able to pull your ribbons apart. And if you put them in every one, what happens is it's very hard to see the ribbon. You just see little tiny glimpses of the ribbon, and it's just you've used a lot of ribbon and then you can't see a whole lot of it. So if you want to be able to see your ribbons, you really want to do them every other one. So that means that you need about 13. Okay, and you really need about 26 because you're going to be doing 2 in each one. And so when I do these, oftentimes I will use leftover ribbon because it's another great way to use some leftover ribbon because you're not going to be using as much. So I have purples. See, I have little purple daisies. I have pink daisies. I have pink. This one has pink and purple. I have little pink butterflies. And then I have this multicolor. So what I'll do is I'll cut 26 14-inch ribbons. And what I'm going to do, we'll use this one to show you. So I have a piece of cardboard that I cut at 7 inches. I put a little duct tape on just to keep it from falling apart. And this is what I use to cut my ribbons. Now there's a lot of other ways you can cut ribbons, but this to me has been the easiest. And I don't have to spend any money to get something to do it. So you just put your ribbon up at the top and then you just go around it. So I have notched where the top is because sometimes I will just be going away and I'm not paying attention to where the top is, because you can take it and you can do this. You see how easy that is? And then you know where the top is, so you can trim it off and then slide your scissors through. Because it has cardboard, because it has the duct tape, it's pretty easy to slide it through. Okay? And then you can fold it in half, cut away from yourself. It gives that nice little detail, it just gives it kind of a finished look. These are the kinds of little touches that give it more of a professional look. So that's why we do these. Now if you don't like to do it this way, you could cut it at an angle. That also gives it a nice finished look. But I'm going to cut all of these ribbons up, and I'm going to cut this up. And then when I get back, we're going to put it together in bundles. And then we will put it on our base. And we're going to have something cute to put in the center. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, so I have 24 of these cut up. I have 26 of these, and I have 24 of these. So what we're going to do is we're going to take pipe cleaners. And I'm just going to use one color. You could use several colors. You could use whatever colors you're using. I like to cut mine in half because you don't really need a whole one. And it just kind of conserves on your pipe cleaners. So I want to show you a few of each. So what I do is I take this, I separate out my 3 colors. And I will roll each one. Now you don't need to roll them very tightly, just a loose little roll. They already want to roll, so it's just pretty easy. So you just want to get like a little sausage. You can either hold it in your hands like this. You could put it down in your Bodabra, or you can hold it with a pipe cleaner. You can also hold it with a chip clip. It really is whatever is easier for you and what you have on hand. So I'll do the second color and the third color. Like this. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these 10 by 10 squares and I'm going to ruffle it right in the middle. Make my little bow tie. Put it down on top of your bundle. Grab one of your pipe cleaners. And you're going to put the pipe cleaner face down on top. So you want the open part in the back. Okay, and what I do is I use my hand to hold all this together, and then I will twist this in the back. And the reason I do this is because it allows you to get a tighter twist on it. And then you don't have to worry about this coming loose. Okay? So this is what the bundle looks like with the ruffle in it. So let's do another one, and then we're going to do a couple with ribbons. Okay? So we take our 3. And one thing I like to do is I like to vary what color is on top. It just kind of gives a little bit more dimension so that you get to see all colors. So just put these 3 together. Like that. Take one of my squares. Go right up through the center. Get my bow tie. Put it on top. Grab my pipe cleaner. Okay. Put it facing down in the front. Come to the back. Pull all of them together in your hand like this. And then you can get a nice good twist. Okay? Okay, now let's do one with some ribbons. So we're just going to separate our 3 colors. Okay, and we're going to vary what's on top. There we go. Like that. Okay, so we have our 3 on top. Take one of my squares here, ruffle it right up through the center. Gonna make our little bow tie. Gonna put it down on top, and I am putting it going in the direction of the rolls. Then I'll take 2 ribbons. Gonna fold them in the center. Pinch in the middle, put that on top. Then I will take one of my pipe cleaners, put it around it, then fold this over. So I want to make sure I get a nice tight tie. All right, there we go. All right, we can do another one. Okay, so let's do one more. So just roll it up. Okay. Just like that. Take one of our 10 by 10 inch squares. Go right up through the center. Get our little bow tie. Put it on top. And grab a couple of ribbons. Find the center, pinch, and put that on top. Okay? And then one of our pipe cleaners around the whole thing. Pull it up, get a good grip. Now, when you have all of this in it, it can be kind of thick. So you can just squeeze in the center right here, and it makes it easier to get a nice tight tie. And you do want to try to keep these as even as you can. There we go. So now it's nice and tight. It's not going to come loose. Alright, so I'm going to go and make the rest of these, and then when I come back, we will start loading it onto our frame. So I'll be back. Okay, so I have everything rolled, and we are ready to start putting it on our wreath. So all I'm going to do is start on one edge, and I'm going to take my pipe cleaner, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to go in between rows 2 and 3. And I'm just going to tie it on nice and tight like that. So I'm going to do one without a ribbon, and then I'm going to do one with a ribbon. I'm just going to place it right next to it. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go in between 2 and 3 and tie it on. There we go. Then another one without ribbon. Okay, and then another one with ribbon. So I'll just alternate this all the way around. And I'm going to shoot for having 4 in each section, like this. So you don't want to put so many in each section that you're not going to be able to spread out your ribbons. So I like to just do 4 if I can, get away with it. And so I just do the same thing over and over in each section. So go, take the pipe cleaner, put 1 in between 3 and 4 and 1 in between 1 and 2. Now if you have a wreath form and it only has 3, you would just tie it on in the middle. Okay. So I had one without, now we're going to do one with ribbon. Okay. Now I'm going to do this all the way around. So take this, no ribbon, in between these two rows. Okay. And just tie it together. There we go. So I'll put one more on and then I will go and do this and come back and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. There we go. So that's the way it looks with two sections on. So I am going to go and I'm going to put the rest of the section on, and then when I come back I'm going to show you how to spread out your ribbons, and we're going to put something cute in the center. So I'll be back. Okay, so I've gotten all the bundles in and I did stick to 4 per section. So you see it is plenty big. So now what you want to do is you want to go in and fluff up the ruffles, and with the ribbon what you're going to do is you're going to pull it out to the side like this. You're kind of going to make an X, alright? So the reason you do that is because that's how it will be seen. And that is why you don't make it as tight. Because if you make it really tight, then you're not going to be able to see it. Okay, and this is wired ribbon, so I can make it bend so that it will stay in place. Okay. So I will keep pulling out my ruffles, and I will pull out my ribbons. Now I'll go all the way around. Make sure I have everything pulled out so that you can see it. Okay. All right. So you can see the splashes of white in here. And you can see the ribbons. Just keep fluffing out your white and your bow all the way around. Okay. All right. There we go. So now you can see all of the ribbon, and you can see the ruffle. So it just adds an extra little dimension to it. So now you can attach a sign. So you see, this has the colors in it. Now, today's Easter, so you don't have to use Easter. You could use a different sign. Butterflies would work really well. But what I will do is I will cut the string in half, and I will open it up. This. And I will take 2 zip tie cable mounts, and I will put 1 in each corner. Like this. 2 more pipe cleaners, and I will thread it right through. Okay, here we go. Alright, here we go. Okay, so now I just take this and I just tie it down. So it's pretty easy with these. You can actually just move your bundles aside and go right down to the frame. So, because we didn't make them super tight, you shouldn't have any trouble whatsoever getting to the frame. So, like right there. I don't want to squash, so I'm just going to tuck it under. Okay. And I'll go on the other side and do the same thing. Just go in between my bundles. And go down to the frame. This, tie it on. Okay, make sure I haven't squashed any of my ribbon. We'll take this string up here, and I like to use this because it's already stapled on, so there's really no need to have to use extra supplies or recreate the wheel. And I'll just do the same thing. I just take this string and I pull it down, and I will tie it off as well, just like that. And if you're worried about the string coming loose, you can just put a little dot of glue on it and it will keep it from coming loose, like that. Now the other thing you can do is take some little Easter eggs, okay, and just put a little glue on them, and you can stick them right where your ribbons are. And what that does is that will help keep that ribbon separated, and it will add a little splash of color. You don't have to do it in every one. Just like this. You see how cute that is? I just pull them right out. Just kind of stick them in there. Like that. You see how cute that is? And there you go. Simple, easy, cute. And you can use some scraps of ribbon to do it. Alright, well I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope y'all have a wonderful Easter. and that I will see you again soon. I will be doing a beach wreath next, so I'll be putting the supplies out hopefully today. And thank you so much for watching, and make sure to like and comment and subscribe. Bye bye.